Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We're just getting ourselves ready to head off to go and do another live stream in London. So I just thought I'd run through some of the gear that we're taking with us for this particular event. I've got a mouse mat there. So this is the TriCaster Mini 4K. You've probably seen this in a couple of our previous videos. This is our main system that we use, and inside this case, like I say, it's all been custom made, is the main unit itself. We've got all of our power cables, connectors there. In the front there, we've obviously got our switch, our desk, so we can do control everything from there. We've got a mouse, we've got a keyboard is at the back there, and then we've got some Sparks, which is how we basically connect our cameras to the unit. This is an NDI based system, so we basically connect HDMI, SDI to the Sparks and then to the main system. Next up is our cameras. You would have seen this before. So again, we've got our Peli for this, and our sort of main cameras are the Blackmagics in there, our little blower for get the dust off the lens. And then it's simple. We've got our two cameras in here. We've got the Blackmagic cinema camera, and then we've got a Ursa Mini in there as well. Power cables all kept in this box, just means that we know where everything is. And then in here we've also got things like extra base plates, which is in here, and we've got dust cloth as well, because that's always handy to have. And in the top here we have our little tool, which comes in handy so much, basically like a little you've got sort of, different screwdriver pieces, knife, scissors, all of that on this little tool, and it is so handy to have keep in the box. So that's our camera setup right there. Next up is the orange Peli. In here we have various pieces of kit that we will need to do the hybrid setup. We got a switch, Cisco SG350. This is quite a beast, but we can basically plug everything into here, and then so our cameras will come into here, our TriCaster's connected to here, the main internet's connected to here, everything connects to this, and then we can run from there. We can pull whatever we want into the main TriCaster. Next we have our Focusrite Scarlett. This is a really important piece of kit. We basically use this to send audio back to the virtual guests at home. Also in here we've got our LiveView Solo. When we're using the TriCaster, this doesn't always get used because we've got built-in encoders within the TriCaster. But again, it's one of those pieces of kit. I always have it on hand. You never know, might have issues with the encoders in the TriCaster. We have a couple of multi-sims for 4G connection. Our multi-sims basically will pick up the best service, the best network in the area. So in the UK, we can pick up any network, and it will just look for the best one, basically, which is really useful because, of course, you can end up in some areas where you might not have Vodafone, but you might get 3, or you might not have O2, but you might get Vodafone, for example. Next up, we've got our web presenter. This is basically how we're sending images to the guests at home. So we basically send an output, whatever our output feed is for the room, for the presenters in the room, and we then can send that back to our virtual speakers at home so they can actually see what's going on in the room. Next up in this bag is probably looks like absolute chaos, but this is basically all of our short cables and connectors, and basically all of that type of stuff that we might need for our live streams. So in here we've got things like short HDMI leads, we've got Ethernet cables, we've got things like our little decimators, like the NDLX, that's in here. Really handy, definitely they get used a lot. Like I say, we've got lots of connectors for both the TriCaster, but obviously also the laptops, so all of those sort of things are in here. Headsets to be able to speak to virtual guests, SDI cables, all sorts basically. This bag is like, if we need something it will be in this bag. Like, you know, those little things that you might just, a little connector, a little cable, something, it will be in this bag, basically. Next bag, again, looks a bit of a mess. I need to sort this bag out before we go, but effectively, this is where we usually keep our lenses. But when I know sort of, for example, okay, we know what lenses we're using for this particular job, I'd usually chuck a few extra bits in this case. So in this case, we've got a wide lens and we've got a 7200 in there as well. And I always chuck in the my Roland V1 SDI switch. It's really small, doesn't take up a lot of room, and in the worst case scenario that something happened with our TriCaster, you know, we've got a switch that we can use to actually carry on doing the job we need to do. And the Shogun Inferno, you know, memory units, all that sort of stuff. This bag is audio. Like I said, most of the events that we do, we're working with an AV, usually the in-house AV company, or, you know, they've got their own audio guys. And they'll be providing us various audio that we will require for the live stream. However, I always carry a bag full of connectors and cables that I just know we'll always need. So they usually can give you, you know, you'll usually get there and they'll give you a long XLR, but you might suddenly just need a particular adapter for whatever reason, whether it's suddenly you need a mini jack for the laptop, or something that particularly plugs into the TriCaster, whatever it might be. This bag has it. I also do carry a small little audio mixer in here as well. The reason for that is because sometimes we get on site the night before, the AV guys aren't there, you know, sort of to run through the audio, and I might just want to do some audio checks. I can set my own little audio mixer up. I can do a few different little run-throughs just in case, and it'll be in here. A few things seem to have gone astray, so that needs to go back in the right pocket. But otherwise, like I say, this has just got lots of different audio connectors and cables, and it's all kept in here. And again, vital piece of kit. We've got some mics in there, radio mics, and the NT-G3 mic and stuff is in there. Also, obviously, we take our monitors. We've got a couple of monitors we carry with us. These are in Gator cases. If no one's used these, they're brilliant cases. They have sort of like quite thick, soft, but thick inserts. And that's what we carry our monitors in. And lastly, we've got our big grey case. And this is basically full of everything from extension cables to long Ethernets, SDI cables, tape, all of that sort of stuff. That's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.